The blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. Why don't we just wait here for a little while, see what happens?
Do you want to die, Sidney?
For England, James? No.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Fill your hand, you son of a bitch!
Look what you did to him!
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
As you can see, I am here.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Macho Movie Madness.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm Brandon. Alongside me always is Andrew. We are back in person today for a ranking video.
Yeah.
And it's one of the first, well, not the first, it's just been, it's one of the first we've done in a while.
Yeah, since the Cameron one, probably.
Yeah, we haven't done a ranking one in a little bit. It's just, as much, I love rankings, but, you know, we kind of stick to the verses and the Warehouse Bees a lot. And,
Yeah. Well, I thought this would be a good chance to do this because this is the 40th anniversary of the Terminator this year.
Yeah, it is.
And we've decided like later in the year, we probably are going to do a T1 review.
Yeah.
To commemorate that. So there might be a couple of Terminator things this year. We'll see.
Yeah, for sure. So we're doing the top 10 characters of the Terminator franchise.
Yeah.
Good, bad, ugly, whatever. We're doing all of them. We're ranking them top 10. And you'll find, I don't even know if I want to give it away yet. I think we should save it to the end.
Yeah.
But you'll find that our lists are very similar.
Yeah.
We have Kenny's picks as well.
Yeah. They are all from Terminator Dark Fate and Terminator Genesis.
Yeah. Surprisingly. Yeah, I think I've got one from 84. I just love those later movies so much.
Right.
Without further ado, let's get started because we got three people's worth of lists to get through. Let's start down at number 10. And Andrew, this is your franchise more than anything.
So I'll
right
give
ahead.
you mine and Kenny's because we both chose the same.
Okay.
And that's Dr. Silberman.
Dr. Silberman, okay.
Just love Dr. Silberman and just his, the negative, slimy stuff he has to say about Sarah, about Kyle Reese in the first movie, and a little bit of the character arc he goes through, like between Terminator 2 and Terminator 3.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. The chill and the shock that he sees in Terminator 2.
Yeah.
But also the absolute fear in 3 when he's like, oh my God, and he just takes off running.
Right.
That was the funniest thing ever. So my number 10 was actually Lieutenant Ed Traxler.
Okay.
From Terminator 1. My only Terminator 1. No, I'm just kidding. So it's not like there's a lot of characters to run through that are really going to be worth a shit, and I'll explain why when we finally get through all these. But I love the Lieutenant in Terminator 1. I love the way he goes above and beyond, I think.
Yeah.
He doesn't really believe anything that's going on, and shit hits the fan, and he gets pretty serious pretty quick. But I just love the way he treats Sarah. I love his he tries to protect her. Overall, just a really good character, I think.
He's kind of, and I'll go into that because he's my number 9. Him and Vukovich, played by Lance Henriksen. I put them together because they're in every scene together.
Okay.
That's probably a cheat, but I like how they're kind of the false heroes to Sarah.
Yes.
They're set up to be the protector, but they fail in every way.
Yeah.
You'll be perfectly safe. There's 30 cops in this building.
Yeah. It was a good line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in a public place, so you'll be safe. Just everything he says, it's for such a good character, it's kind of a fail.
Yeah.
But I love those characters and the dynamics they have together. How do I look? Like shit, boss.
Like shit, yeah.
Yo, mama.
Yo, mama.
I love the banter, and that was all written by William Wisher. James Cameron's best friend,
Okay.
who actually plays the cop, 1L19.
Yeah.
There on Pico outside of Technor. So, yeah, he actually wrote a lot of the dialogue for this and T2. So.
Nice. It works really well. And I didn't put Hal in there. He was actually going to be an honorable mention later, but yeah, you're right. They're both amazing. But I love just, what that he went above and beyond the best he could. Anyway, obviously it was a big fail, but it made you care about the character a lot, and you didn't want him, you didn't want to see any of them get killed, but that's what happens.
Yeah, they're kind of unsung heroes.
I don't know. You never know.
Of that first film.
Yeah. And what was Kenny's number 9?
John Connor from 03.
John Connor for 03.
I think he's going to stand on an island by himself there.
Yeah, because my number 9 was Silverman.
Yeah.
So we have kind of the same. John Connor from 03, huh?
Yeah, that's an interesting take. I wish Kenny was here to tell us, why that is. But
I know.
Yeah, he didn't make my list.
Yeah, no, he did not make my list either. So I guess that puts us at number 8 already, right?
Yeah.
What did Kenny pick for number 8?
For number 8, Kenny took Dyson.
Okay.
And, our lists are fairly similar for the most part. Me and Kenny, I also chose Miles Dyson for number 8. That character has a lot to do. He's basically Dr. Frankenstein when you think about it.
Yeah, he really is.
He's found this. He's reverse engineered it, and he's like, "Oh no, what have I done?"
Yeah. And he was my number 8 as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, we all went number 8, Miles Dyson. Love the character of Miles Dyson, but in the redemption at the end, you still hated to see what happened to him.
Yeah,
but it's understandable. I think
this is a good way to go out.
It's still a good way to go out. Yeah, and he still went out with a bang, pun intended. Okay, so if we all picked Miles Dyson for number 8, that means we're on number 7 now.
Who you got?
I went with John Connor, 1991.
We went John Connor 91 across the board.
On 7?
For number 7.
Okay, cool. Edward Furlong, first role, did, I think, a good job.
For a kid they just picked up off the street.
For a kid they just randomly picked up off the street. He did a really good job. I liked a lot of his lines in this movie. I don't know if you could have played it any different or any better than that kid. He played the troubled kid with mommy issues well. Obviously he didn't get along with his step parents.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was very, very little times in the movie where I grew annoyed with the kid.
Yeah.
So, that's saying something.
Yeah, that's hard to say about child actors a lot of times.
Yeah.
So I'd say the same. He helps progress the story without detracting from it too bad, and there's some scenes where I genuinely like him,
Yeah.
and the scene where they're there out in that parking lot and he finds out the Terminator has to do what he says.
Yeah.
The jock douchebag comes up.
Yeah.
You got to do what I say, don't you?
Yeah.
I love that part.
Yeah. Yeah, and the whole thing went just like that, just went from help me to wait a minute.
Yeah.
Now I can mess with these guys.
Yeah.
And so I guess it's one of those things that almost any kind of snot-nosed, shitty 12-year-old or 13-year-old would do when he finds out he's got his own personal Terminator. Anyway, of course it almost went south when he was going to kill him.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute. You can't just kill people. But I like the dynamic between him and Arnold in this movie.
Yeah.
The characters of John and the T-800, I really like too. That scene at the end, I know now why you cry, but it's something I can't do, was really good. Yeah, just all around a good character. That's pretty much all I have to say about Edward Furlong's John Connor, but definitely number 7. He's one of the most well-known characters, obviously, in the franchise. The whole franchise is kind of built around him as a resistance leader in the future, but there's just bigger fish to fry when it comes to this list, so he's down on 7.
Yeah.
So, who we got for number 6?
For number 6, me and Kenny both have Sarah Connor, 91. This was the one that hurt my heart just a little bit because I wanted to put her up quite a bit higher. But looking at some of these others, because you're going to see multiples of these characters because they're two different characters really between the two movies.
Yeah, for sure.
I had to drop her down this far, and I really had a dilemma between this and my number 5. And Kenny picked the same.
So you both went Sarah Connor 91.
Yeah.
I went Sarah Connor 84. And this was kind of rough for me too, because I really like Sarah Connor 84. And I really like Sarah Connor 91.
Yeah.
Sarah Connor 91 is a badass.
Yeah.
Very different. And Sarah Connor 84 is not. So, I mean, really, Sarah Connor 91 to me is better. But in the scheme of things, the picture, Sarah Connor 84 has her place. I mean, she's the victim in this. She's the one that's caught up in this shit. She's not, hey, I'm going to get in fight, but she's also, they're just such different movies.
Right.
I mean, they have the same plot, but they're so different because she's a horror character. You know, she's a final girl almost like, and
she's Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. She's scared. She doesn't know what to do. She's running. She's got to protect her, unlike Laurie.
Yeah.
But by the end, she learns to kind of fight, and she kind of learns her meaning and her place, and then that ascends to the Sarah Connor that we know in 91, and then she becomes kind of a crazy badass. But she has her place, and I love her to death. But I think that Sarah Connor 91 is better. So that's why that's why I put Sarah Connor 84 at number 6, and that's why I put Sarah Connor 91 at number 5.
Okay, cool.
So I was thinking about flipping the two, but hopefully everybody kind of understands what I mean by that. Sarah Connor 91 just a badass, and that's.
I do like, she is a badass. I do like the scene where Arnold comes out of the elevator and she sees him and the look of terror on her face.
Yeah, she's like, no, this is, she's really, well, it's really happening.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And I do like that scene
she's
too.
She's pretty traumatized in that movie. And
she is.
Really like that, and all the stuff inside the, inside the mental hospital. I thought she did a really good job of.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So what did you all pick? Did you do the same thing?
Oh, for number 5?
Yeah. Did you do 84 or would you go somewhere else?
Oh no, we went another direction. We went T1000. Both of us.
For number 5?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that's probably a little bit low, but man,
it's hard.
There's some characters we just like just a little bit better. I say we did this together. Me and Kenny did this completely separate, but
I know
it just turns out we like the same characters.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Y'all are bigger fans of 84 than I am.
Yeah.
Not because I'm not a big fan of 84, but you guys are proponents of T1 where I'm more of a proponent of T2.
Yeah. And T1000, I'm sure I'll leave it for you to talk about him because I know you appreciate him just a little bit more, but what a good villain. Just absolutely love him.
Absolutely.
Great and menacing in his own way.
Yeah. So that's our number 5?
Yep.
Okay, so moving into number 4, who did Kenny pick?
For number 4, Kenny picked Sarah 84. I also picked Sarah 84.
Oh wow, okay.
So
okay,
yeah, our lists are very similar.
Anything you want to add to that?
So yeah, to me, she starts off sweet and innocent, and she's got one of the best arcs I've ever seen.
Yeah.
In a character. To the where she's, she becomes the protector kind of at the end of the movie. Move it, Reese, on your feet.
Yeah, on your feet. Yeah.
She does a 180 right there, and gets that toughness that was always inside of her. And I really like that. And without her in 84, the story can't go anywhere.
No, that's true.
So she was pretty important proponent of this for me, and so that's why she's up there at 4.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
So both of you were at number 4.
Yeah.
Sarah 84. I picked Arnold 91 at number 4.
Oh wow.
I know. So here's the deal. Everybody knows how much I love T2, or everybody should know. Everybody will know. I love T2, and I love T2 Arnold. He's one of my favorite. These next two are another one that I thought about switching because I love Arnold 91, and he is a badass in this. He does a great job protecting John and even helping Sarah. He gets really, really messed up in this movie by the T-1000. Like, you get the battle damage and shit that he does through.
I need a vacation.
I need a vacation. This was tough for me, guys. This was really tough for me, and this is what I settled on. And it might change tomorrow. They might flip, but that's what I picked number 4. Like I said, I love the dynamic between him and John. I love the idea of the T-800 being reprogrammed by the future resistance and brought back to be, the savior this time. I love that. I don't know if there's anything else to say without wasting a lot of time. and maybe you guys can talk about it in length or whatever, or add your own.
Yeah, because I'm actually going to surprise you with where he is on mine.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, I do love 91 Arnold, but that's my number 4.
So up to number 3.
Up to number 3.
Kenny has 91 Arnold at number 3.
Okay.
And he didn't really expand on that. I have the T800 from T2 or T1 at number 3.
So do I.
Cool.
So
yeah, he's technically of the 2 Terminators, he's my favorite.
Yeah.
But when the grand scheme of things in this, I think Arnold 91 is probably a bigger deal. And I'll talk about that here in just a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I love Arnold 84. I love Arnold 91 probably a little bit better. The reason why I edged it to 84 is just because of the style of movie. Yeah. And it's probably surprising to you because I am such a proponent of number 2.
Yeah.
But I think just overall the T1000 kind of steals the show a little bit in T2. It's such a big production. It's such a big movie with so many moving parts. And John is just as important almost as Sarah, and Sarah is almost as important as like the T800, and then you got the T1000 that is such a huge part of this movie.
Yeah.
Does this make sense? Like 84, you've got the story arc of Sarah, which is a big deal. Then you got Kyle Reese, which the franchise wouldn't be anywhere without him.
Yeah.
And then you've got, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then you've got Arnold 84, who is this unstoppable, scary machine that no one else on the planet can stop or know anything. There's just something so crazy scary about the T800 from 84. Yeah. And he's just this big, scary look. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
I think it's just the overall presence.
Yeah.
And what they did with Arnold in 84 that makes him just a little bit, maybe not so much better, but important.
Yeah, I can dig it. I mean, most days I'd agree with that. Today I just thought, the T800 or the Uncle Bob, I'm going to call him in T2. Him and that character in the grand scheme of pop culture, it's
for sure
kind of a bigger deal. Even though I personally prefer the T800 from T1. There's little nuances to that character that I just absolutely love with Arnold. Whether it's the surveillance camera, looks.
Yeah.
There's a scene. I read somebody's message one time in a forum, and I never really thought of this, and I thought I'd share it now. In the gun shop, where he's talking to Dick Miller, and he's like, a phase plasma rifle in 40 watt
we don't do that here.
Yeah, it's just what you see, pal. I don't think he sees up on the wall it's not there, but he also knows that's probably the only thing that can stop him.
Yeah.
And he's asking to see if it's there in that time.
Yeah,
and
right.
I thought that's kind of that was very well written by Cameron, and I thought that was
so does that mean that was on purpose, you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think we've always taken it the wrong way.
Right.
But anyway, that was one theory.
That's a good theory.
Yeah. But I thought that'd be cool to share because I've always just laughed at that. Say, that's just a goofy.
Right, me too. Right.
It fits that character too because he's just so utilitarian and just
Yes.
He's a tank.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and like I said, my opinion could change tomorrow, and it could just flop the other way. Just they're that close. Because you make kind of the same argument with 91 and how. I look at the Terminator 84 as this crazy horror villain, and just I guess maybe just the placement of him and how he is in that movie, and you make a really good point though of just pop culture wise, how big Terminator 2's Arnold is.
Yeah.
So that is the one I prefer, just like you prefer 84.
Yeah.
So it's a really kind of mixed bag, and I just kind of went with 84 because of the significance of it.
Yeah.
Even though Arnold 91 has its own significance, it's a hard thing. Like I said, I will probably change my mind tomorrow, and then it'll be back and forth.
Yeah.
Just kind of hard, and that's one of those things where you're like, that's the trouble, the only trouble when you split the characters in these movies.
Yeah.
That when you split the T800s. But then you've got T800s from later movies that are also just ugh.
Yeah. And that's going to be my number one, Carl, who sells drapes from Dark Fate.
Yeah.
Not
Well, he was my number 2. Did we get Kenny's number 3?
Did we have a number 3 from Kenny? Yeah, Arnold 91. His number 2 was Arnold 84.
Okay.
So he's right there with you.
Okay. So what's your number 2?
My number 2 was Arnold 91, or Uncle Bob, as I like to call him.
Okay. So I just got sidetracked and didn't realize we were already number 2, basically. So my number 2 was the T-1000. I guess that says something because I'm such a big fan of Arnold, and I'm such a big fan of both of his Terminators that, dude, Robert Patrick.
He did such a great job.
That's such a great job. The T-1000, and I can't remember what did I place? Did I place him? I placed him pretty high on my villains list, didn't I?
Top 3.
I think so.
Yeah,
dude, the T-1000 is not just one of the scariest, but one of the coolest characters and villains of all time, in my opinion. I was just so, and that's probably stems from just my childhood, because I was just so like in awe over this dude, and so scared of this dude as a kid. Because I mean, he can take shape of anything. Yeah. He can mix in with anything. He was fast, like just one of the most menacing. And you have to attribute that to, or credit that, I should say, to Robert Patrick for sure. Yeah. But he was just so crazy unstoppable and so menacing.
So technologically advanced.
Yeah.
Superior to Arnold.
Yeah. And you don't want that, especially as a kid. You look at that and you don't like, why is this dude throwing this big tank of a Terminator around into a wall? And you just don't understand it. But you're just like, wow, that's crazy. And there's nothing you can do. You know, when the T-800 is sent back to help and can't fight him off hardly. I mean, you have to be a little bit smarter and more tactical about it. Just one of the greatest villains, most menacing of all time. And I think it's just too significant not to put him super high on this list. Yeah. I felt kind of guilty putting him at 5, but I love these other characters just a little bit more. And when you're doing this, you just there's so many things that you factor in. Yeah, like I wanted to put Dyson higher, but I just can't. No, you can't, because there's too many other characters. And the crazy thing is, I mean, we can go ahead and say it now. The crazy thing is, we're not covering the rest of this franchise. No. Like 3 Terminator, Kenny had John Connor from Terminator 3. We don't have anything from after Terminator 2. No. Because I refuse. Yeah. Even if I can watch those movies to have some fun sometimes, they're just not well written. They're not well written. They're not good characters. And when you actually break them down, you only like when we broke these down into the years, because we have multiple Sarahs on here and multiple Arnolds. You break them down, you have 3 spots at the end to figure out who you're going to place. So then you got to choose between, do you choose between the heroes of the other movies? Do you choose between the side characters, or which to me were more well written. Yeah, they have than the others. Yeah, Salvation did not have good heroes. Sorry, Christian. I've said this before. Christian Bale as John Connor, not my bag. The other dude, not worth it. Yeah. If I had a top 15, he might be in it. Yeah, sure. Yeah, if we had to do a top 15 or 20, obviously we'd have to start pulling from. Yeah. Unless I wanted to refuse and just start throwing in the security guard from 2000 or 1991 from T2. Get the one with the woman with the cast on her arm. I'll throw her in there. But yeah, I'm not going to put Carl that sells drapes on this list. I'm not, or the woke female Terminator. I'm not going to put the woke, I might throw that Sarah Connor in, cause it was still okay. Linda Hamilton did an okay job, but the movie sucked. And I'm definitely not going to put Sarah Connor from Genesis on there. The Deagle, one-armed Deagle. No, not doing it. So what do you do? If you guys out there want to throw that in the comments or attack us, that's fine. Let us know in the comments below. Before we get to number 1 here, let us know. I don't think they're going to. I think they have better taste than that. I think so too. We hold you all to higher standards, just so you know. But yeah, let us know in the comments what you think about your list. Let us know your list. Honorable mentions. I had Hal. You mentioned him earlier, and I had Ginger and Matt, which I believe Kenny had that too. I have Ginger and Matt. Yeah, just good, lovable characters. Yeah. I love the phone scene. where he's trying to do the sex voice and talk to Ginger, and it's Sarah, and it's like, it's for you. And then without even missing a beat, Ginger picks up the phone and he just goes right into it. Doesn't say hello, nothing, just goes right into his spiel.
Yeah, Ginger making some post-coital sandwiches, what a woman.
Yeah. Very, very nice.
I like the scene there. I mean, I listened to a podcast, and I guess Bess Mata's entire time on the set was like 3 days or something. But I love that scene too, wherever the answering machine goes off and the guy is telling Sarah, sorry, I got to break off the date. And she's like, bum. So what if he has a Porsche? I'll bust his kneecap.
Yeah.
And that was actually Jim Cameron.
Oh, really?
Machine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is Ginger the one that said, "You're dead, honey"? Or is
that was
a different coworker? Okay. Yeah. That was one of my favorite lines from a lady I didn't even realize. But yeah, you're dead, honey. Anyway, so I guess without further ado, we'll get to number one. Everybody probably knows by now through process of elimination. We all three picked Kyle Reese,
yes.
84.
Yeah. Without Kyle Reese, there's no
Terminator. And Michael Biehn is one of the best actors for our tastes, and probably doesn't get enough credit.
If you pick the wrong actor there,
yes,
that this entire franchise is just bungled right there.
Yeah,
and Michael Biehn did such a good job at taking that exposition, which when you look at it at face value, it's kind of goofy.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
Like just taking it and being deadly serious with it, and he does such a good job as Kyle Reese.
He does
in this movie. There wasn't a question when I made this list.
No, I agree. Just the overall importance and of the character itself. Michael Biehn doing such a good job. Great scenes. I mean, he's just a man. He's just a man that came back to conceive his child and protect protect the mother.
I think also the fact that Kyle Reese is a man is it makes the stakes higher for T1. I think that's one reason why I prefer it just a little bit.
It's not so King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
As it is, David versus Goliath.
Yeah.
So exactly. that's kind of the difference. Yeah, I agree. I do. That's one thing that I can give T1 over T2. T2 is just such a powerhouse of a blockbuster movie that it's just hard to deny how incredible it is. But overall feel and charm, T1 obviously is super solid, especially for 1984 coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our list. Let us know if you all agree or not. Let us know your list below. Make sure you like and subscribe. Do we know what we got coming up?
I'm not sure when this is coming out exactly.
Yeah.
So,
we got a few ahead of this.
Yeah, we got some things in the works. But yeah, eventually at some point this year, we're going to do a T1 review just for the 40th.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if we'll do a commentary. I don't know.
We'll do a why we love T1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay. Well, until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. We're out of here.